Why, hello, and welcome to Spoiler Piece Theater, the podcast that doesn't give a shit about spoilers. I was going to say give a shit about movies. Whoops.
Whoa.
The podcast that doesn't give a shit about spoilers. We just want to talk about the movies. My name is David Riedel. My pronouns are he, him. I write about movies, and I'm a member of the Boston Online Film Critics Association.
And my name is Megan Kearns. My pronouns are she, her. I write and podcast for In Session Film. I'm a co-host of the Slashers podcast. I, too, am a member of the Boston Online Film Critics Association, and I'm a member of Gallica, the Society of LGBTQ Entertainment Critics.
Woo!
Yeah.
So this week, we are a duo, again, a dynamic duo, you might say. And it's just Megan and me. And so the gloves are off, and we're
fighting?
No, I was just thinking, I don't think we probably disagree about things so much this week. One, because I didn't see The Running Man, which is our first movie. And two, because, I'll be interested to hear what you say about Nouvelle. But before we get to all of that, we just want to say right quick over on ye old Patreon. This week we are talking about the 1991 Mira Nair dramatic romance movie, Mississippi Masala.
Yeah.
And it was a great conversation. Now, I'm not going to tell you what blew my mind while we were discussing Mississippi Masala, but I will tell you that my mind is blown. Megan blows my mind. So if you want to know what it sounds like for me to go, oh my God, then this is the Patreon episode for you. So go check that out. This week on the show, I already told you which movies we're going to be talking about. It's The Running Man and Nouvelle Vague. The Running Man, of course, is another Stephen King adaptation. I guess we're going through the Bachman books now.
Looks that way.
And Megan is the only one who saw it, so we're going to do this. And I'm going to tell you, here's your one-sentence IMDb summary. A man joins a game show in which contestants, allowed to go anywhere in the world, are pursued by hunters hired to kill them. Now, hunters is in quotes in the one-sentence IMDb summary.
Yeah,
Why
that's
are
what
they
they
in
call
quotes?
them. Because
Yeah,
that's their title.
But they are hunters. I mean...
I know. I'm just saying that is their title in the movie.
Who fucking writes this shit? I remember when I was in journalism school and we were turning in our first stories. One of the things that our main professor said, and I never did this because I just never did this. He's like, stop using air quotes. Don't use quotes unless you're quoting. It's like, you're killing me, everybody. So anyway, this is directed by Edgar Wright. Boo. This is
shots fired.
Yeah, this is written by Michael Bacall and Edgar Wright from the Stephen King, Richard Bachman novel. If you recall, like most people probably do, this was an Arnold Schwarzenegger movie in the 80s, also starring Richard Dawson and Jesse the Body Ventura.
Oh, I'd forgotten that.
Oh man, this fucking movie. I remember I read The Running Man when I was a kid. It was one of the many Stephen King books I read. I went through a Stephen King phase where I read everything that he wrote. I started to stand and was like, well, fuck this shit, because I don't do fucking God and the devil and the flu and fuck you. But I read The Shining up through, I would say, I think I read everything that he wrote pretty much up through Misery. And so the Bachman books came out as it was like a big 5-book volume. And so I read all those, and the 1987 Running Man is a far cry from the Stephen King novel. So this seems like at least a little closer. Megan, lay it on me. What happens in The Running Man?
Well, I have no idea if it's closer to the Stephen King Bachman book because I have not read it. I've read a lot of Stephen King, but not that one. So basically you have Ben Richards, played by Glenn Powell, and he's our protagonist. And I was going to say it's in the future, but I actually don't know if it is, because it's funny. I don't think it says where it's set, but I know that the book is set in 2025, which is, that's what we're in now.
Yay.
So anyway, he is talking to his boss because his boss has, I think, laid him off, and he's brought in his baby, and he's like, my baby is sick. She needs to get real medicine. I need my job. And the foreman is like, well, too bad. You shouldn't have mouthed off and blah, blah, blah. And we find out pretty quickly that he's been fired from tons of jobs because of insubordination. But you also learn pretty soon in that he's very heroic. And so he will do death-defying things to help his colleagues. So anyway, he's desperate to make money in order to get his daughter real medicine at a real doctor. His wife is played by Jamie Lawson, and she is a nightclub waitress. And so they're both struggling to make ends meet. And there's one channel with a lot of reality TV game shows. And he's been watching all these game shows and taking notes and seeing how much people win and what kinds of shows they win on. And he's doing his research so he can audition for a reality show and make money. And so when he tells his wife this plan, she's like, whatever you do, don't do the Running Man. Don't do the Running Man. People don't come back from the Running Man. It's too dangerous. And he's like, don't worry. I'm not going to audition for the Running Man. I promise I won't do it. And then that was the end. That's the movie. No, it was like, it'd be a very short movie if that was it. So he goes through the audition process, and it very much is kind of like American Ninja Warrior, where there's all these kinds of obstacle courses, and they do a psych eval with kind of a Rorschach test, and then they place you in the show that they think you are appropriate for. And he and two other contestants get put in the Running Man. And he's like, no. He's like, I'll do any other show. I can't do the Running Man. I can't. I don't want to do it. I can't do it. And he talks to Josh Brolin, who is the head of the network. And Josh Brolin is like, no, you don't understand. I don't ever say this to anybody. He's like, well, actually, I do say this, but this is the first time I mean it. You could win this whole thing. You could go far. You have a profile. You test it. That's off the charts. You test it off the charts. You can do this. So then he's like, well, fuck, I'm going to do it. And so he does. And he gets one phone call to his wife, and his wife is livid and, destroyed because she's like, you're not coming back. And there's a lot of like logistics, like he has to sign this contract, and then his family's like put into kind of witness protection, and
wow.
they have guards, so nobody can attack them. And so the whole thing is that he and the other two have to survive for 30 days, and they get like a 24-hour head start. And then after that, people can report them. Like if they see them on the street, they take photos, video, and they report in, and they get prize money if they report on one of the runners. And then the hunters are the team of assassins that are out to murder them. And so the whole point is they have to stay alive for 30 days. And they also can't just go off grid and lay low, because every single day they have to film themselves and then send that videotape via mail so they can say like, hey, I'm here, blah, 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 blah. So this is the whole thing. So Ben goes to his old coworker, played by William H. Macy. And William H. Macy's like, you're stupid. You shouldn't have done this. I was going to offer you a job, blah, blah, blah. But here are a whole bunch of disguises. So he gives him a whole bunch of disguises, and he gives him tools so he can hide out. And he gets out of town, and he goes to New York City, and then he makes his way via train to Boston, and he's hiding out in a hotel. But then he's found by the hunters. And so then he's on the move again. And then he runs into a kid whose brother helps him. And this kid's older brother, like runs this underground talk show to expose the network and expose how they're exploiting people in kind of like a revolutionary type of way. And so he gets kind of caught up in that. And the brother's like trying to help him, and there's a lot of killing, and there's a lot of he threatens Josh Brolin a lot, and then he thinks later on in the film he thinks his family's dead because Josh Brolin told him that your family was murdered by us.
Oh my god!
And Yeah, it's like crazy. And so, yeah, and then he's on a plane and he's taking out people. Like yeah, it's a lot. There's a lot happening. So basically he's on the run, but it reminded me of the Hunger Games and Squid Game and all of those, and kind of, commentary on reality TV and media, and there's a little AI, a deep fake commentary in there. Not really a commentary because there's not much of a commentary here, but it does exist. So anyway, yeah, that's pretty much what's happening. I did not like this at all.
Ooh.
Yeah. I like Glenn Powell as an actor. I think he's charismatic. I think he can be great. I don't think he's good here because throughout the whole movie, especially in the beginning of the movie, the whole reason he gets cast on the Running Man is that he's so angry. He's so angry. We're told over and over and over. And they sometimes have to hold him back. And he's like, fuck you. I'm going to murder you all. Blah. And like,
you channeled your inner Dave right there.
I did what I can. But it's like, we're told he's angry. And like, it's almost like he's going through the motions of anger, but I don't actually feel like he's angry. Like it feels, there's a fakeness to it. And it feels, there's a lot of cheesiness to the movie, and not in like we're going to be campy and be kind of an homage to the 80s version. It just feels cheesy because I think the writing is cheesy, and it just doesn't work for me. What I will tell you though is Coleman Domingo is the host.
I bet he's amazing.
Fucking amazing. He is amazing.
He's so good.
He's so good. Coleman Domingo, I think, is one of our greatest living actors. I think there is nothing that man can't do. He is incredible. He can do any genre. He is fantastic and is just riveting and magnetic all the time.
Mm-hmm.
He is great. And he interestingly plays this over the top as well as very restrained, like much more restrained than I would have thought someone in this role would have played. And it's great. He's so great. He's my favorite part of this. But yeah, everybody else is kind of like, whatever. I don't know. It's fine.
Edgar Wright. I'm telling you.
Yeah, I'm not an Edgar Wright fan. I do like Scott Pilgrim. I will say that.
This was written by the guy who wrote Scott Pilgrim.
I like Scott Pilgrim, I do, but this is, it should have been, to me, it should have been and could have been so much more, because there's so much here to mine as far as, capitalism exploiting people and issues with the media and with issues with AI. Like there's just so much here. And I don't think it does anything with it. I don't think it goes anywhere with it. I don't think it has anything really interesting to say about it. And it just, it's not a terrible watch. Although I did find myself bored through parts.
Well, it's kind long, of surprisingly. Right? Isn't it like 2 hours and 15 minutes long?
No, I think it's under 2 hours.
Oh, okay.
I don't know.
Okay.
I think it's under 2 hours. But yeah, it just, the more I sat, like I didn't like it while I was watching it, and I didn't like it right after, but the more I sat with it, I'm like, I really don't like this. It really irked me. And
okay.
Yeah, but I will say the action scenes look good, because I do think Edgar Wright has kind of a kinetic, propulsive.
He does.
Look to his films. And so the action scenes are good, but I want more from my action movies. I want to care about the characters. I want to care about this world and what's going on in it. And so, yeah, I think the writing is lackluster.
Yeah.
A lot of the acting is not good. And it's just, I just was not a fan.
Not a ringing endorsement. Yeah. I had wanted to see this because, so as far as like the Richard Bachman connection goes, do you remember the Schwarzenegger Running Man?
So I've actually never seen the Schwarzenegger Running Man, but I do remember it.
Okay. So the thing that, if I recall correctly, is different. So this does the 30 days, which
Yeah.
is in the novel. The Schwarzenegger one, it's I think it's like 24 hours. I don't remember.
Mhm.
And it's also rigged, and the government, and it's a government game show run by an authoritarian government.
Yeah.
So is that this
I
at all?
mean,
Or is this like the regular dystopian United States?
it's definitely dystopian because there's clearly been some kind of economic collapse. And I don't know if it's the government is the same as the media corporation, or it's just the media corporation is kind of almost superseded the government. I'm not sure, but it's not government run per se, but it's also not, if that makes sense.
Sure. Yeah.
But yeah, but it's very it's very clear that it's rigged. And that was the thing I knew about the story, was that it was rigged. Like, there's no way to win.
Right.
And the guy who's helping Ben says to him, he's like, you can't win. Like, they don't basically, like, they don't want you to win. That's the whole point, is not to win. The other thing I forgot to say, and I don't know if this is in the book. So Josh Brolin, who's the head of the network, he later in the film, because Ben is so popular, because people are like, Ben lives, and they're like rallying behind him, he offers him a job, and he's like, if you can kill all the hunters that are left, you'll get even more money. So he's already been offered like $1 billion if he wins. And he's like, if you win, you'll get the $1 billion, and then you'll also get a salary, and you'll become a hunter too. And then as he's on the plane fighting guys, the main hunter, who's played by Lee Pace, is like, you don't think you were the only one who got offered that job, do you? I was offered that deal too. I was a runner too. So anyway.
Lee Pace?
Yeah, Lee Pace.
That seems not right. For that part?
It's interesting casting, I will say that. And I usually like Lee Pace.
He's fine. I don't have a problem with him, but it just doesn't seem right. Anyway. Yeah, well, you didn't spoiler piece how the movie ends. How the book ends is, and I don't remember the character's name in the book. It might be Ben Richards.
Mm-hmm.
Ben Richards is dying of some kind of injury, and he flies a helicopter into the game show headquarters and kills everybody.
I wish that it ended that way. That's amazing. That is not how this ends.
Does this Ben Richards live and get his money?
Well, I don't. Yeah, of course he does, but not quite in that way. Like, he essentially, like, his wife and daughter have relocated, and they're taken care of. They're okay. And then Ben Richards kind of becomes an underground person, and there's all these uprisings against the network. And then he shows up, and he's still alive, and he shows himself to his wife because she hasn't seen him in a while. And then he shows up to kill Josh Brolin, and it like cuts on like a freeze frame of him holding the gun to Josh Brolin. I like the ending of the book much better. That would have been better.
But you know what? That sounds like a shitty Edgar Wright ending. So I mean, I have such a problem with Edgar Wright. Like, Shaun of the Dead on paper is a movie I should love, because I love zombie movies. I love comedies. I like the cast in that movie, although I didn't know who they were at the time. And it's fine. It's okay. I think the thing that's always bothered me about Edgar Wright more than anything is just how clever he thinks he is.
I can see that.
And he does it in a way that's kind of in a sneaky. Here's the thing. I don't think that he thinks he's all that clever, but it comes across that way. I think he's just a guy who's like, these are the genres I like, and these are the homages I make, and this is what I do. Yeah. And isn't Hot Fuzz funny? And Hot Fuzz, I think, is the one movie of his that works from beginning to end. Hot Fuzz makes me laugh fucking hysterically, especially when it gets into like the last third, when it turns into full on action movie, but it's also still a parody. It's great. But if you recall, and I'll bet you do, if you recall, Scott Pilgrim versus the World makes me want to kill people.
I know you don't like it. Yeah.
Oh my God. That movie, I could not, because I'd heard people be like, it's so divisive. You either love it, and Evan really loves it, and you like it.
Yes, he does. I do. I think it's great. Yeah.
And I've also heard people, you either love it or you hate it. There's no like, yeah, I can see what they're going for, but it really didn't work for me. I didn't see what they were going for. None of it worked for me. I hated every fucking minute of that fucking thing. And then I really hated The World's End. Just The World's End is torture to me.
Yeah. I hate it too.
Baby Driver's terrible, although it has it has some really good action scenes.
Yeah, the action's great. Terrible ending though.
Oh, terrible. Well, it's got like 4 endings. That ending goes on.
That's true.
It just goes on forever. And Ansel Elgort, fuck that guy.
Well, yeah, fuck him.
I didn't see Last Night in Soho specifically because it was an Edgar Wright movie.
I do not like it. There's some gorgeous cinematography in that, though. Absolutely stunning, and great costumes. But yeah, no, I don't like it at all.
That's one of the things that's kind of hard about his movies. Like they look. I mean, they're directed to the hilt.
Yeah.
I will give Edgar Wright credit for this is what I want to do, and then he executes. Yes. But it's just not usually something I want to see. So. Yeah.
I can see that. Yeah. The other thing I will say is when you were talking about him being clever, there's a few little sprinklings of kind of Easter eggs. Like Arnold Schwarzenegger's face is on the currency in this, which is cutesy. One of the diners or restaurants that you see in the background is called Bachman's, and another diner or store or something it's called Tabby's Diner, and I was like, oh, like very Tabitha cute. King, yes. How cute! Yeah, so there's like cute little nods and stuff. Yeah.
My favorite things that I ever read about Tabitha King is when like Stephen King will do a first draft of a story or a novel, and he's like, so I give it to Tabby. She comes back to me the next day and she's like, yeah, you can do better. He's like, oh, I thought this one was really good. She's like, nah, I need some more. So anyway.
That's cute.
Yeah.
But right. Coleman Domingo.
Yeah.
What a star.
Yeah.
He's great.
And I like a lot of I'm assuming most of these are cameos. I'm assuming that Sean Hayes is a cameo because his name appears kind of low on the list.
Yeah, essentially. Oh, Katie O'Brien, whom I love, is in this. And yeah, she's great, but underutilized.
Yeah. What are you going to do?
Yeah.
Lee Pace, huh?
Yeah. It's an interesting choice.
Yeah. Oh, Debbie Mazur's in this for a hot second, isn't she?
Oh, yeah. Okay, so this is my last thing I'll say about this. Yeah, okay. Debbie Mazur is great in it.
I love Debbie Mazur.
Well, yeah, she's spectacular in this in a very small role. There is I'm very annoyed. I have a lot of problems with society, of course, and with media.
Yeah.
But I'm also very annoyed when media is just kind of blanketly blamed when it's really capitalism that's the problem, or racism, not just media. And I don't know, this movie doesn't really differentiate. It's just kind of like reality TV sucks and that's the problem and media is the problem. And I'm just like, okay. So anyway, Debbie Mazur is the matriarch in a Kardashians spoof, essentially. And she is spectacular in said spoof.
Yeah.
She's great.
And Debbie Mazur has always been like a low-key looker. I like Debbie Mazur's look.
Yeah. She's got a great style. Yeah.
Yeah.
It's like very distinctive.
That accent and that vibe she has.
It's all great.
Yeah.
It's all great. Yeah.
All right. Well, anyway, I've had enough talking about how much I love Debbie Mazur, so.
And hate Edgar Wright movies.
Hate Edgar Wright movies. Fucking guy.
It really is so unfortunate because you're right. He is a great filmmaker, like technically speaking. Yeah,
it's one of those things where it's just like I feel this way about Christopher Nolan a lot. It's like you just have a mastery of so much.
Yeah.
Why is Interstellar such a piece of shit? You know,
yikes!
like
Those are shots fired. People love Interstellar.
Fucking love Interstellar, and I
People
look at
are
that.
Gonna lose their mind when they hear this.
I look at Interstellar, and I'm just like boring, predictable. This is what somebody who has no emotion does when he thinks he's directing a movie that has emotion. That's, you know.
I'm no lover of Interstellar, so I don't.
Yeah.
I don't necessarily disagree.
I'm not wrong. So anyway, all right. So you're cool with The Running Man? We got that covered?
Yeah.
Okay. All right. Well, let's move on to our last movie of the night. This is Nouvelle Vague. This is Richard Linklater's latest. This is now I don't know why I thought this was just sort of about French New Wave in sort of a grander context, like, oh, we're going to drop in on a movie that's being made as like a fictional movie that's being shot in 1960 in Paris, whatever. No,
nope.
This is apparently the story, not apparently, this is the story of Godard making Breathless with, you know, all the, you know, bells and whistles and things like that. So if you know your French New Wave, then you know Breathless. I've seen Breathless precisely once. I saw it in college. I vaguely remember it. I do remember thinking, oh, this is kind of cool, but pretty much that's it.
Okay.
I have not.
I like Breathless.
I don't not like it. I just don't remember it so well. You know, it's just one of those things. I saw it I saw it in 1994. I saw it 31 years ago.
It's a long time.
Yeah. So I've always liked Belmondo because he's Belmondo. I always forget that Gene Seberg is American until I read, oh, that's right, she's American. And so here's your 2-sentence IMDb summary. After writing for Cahiers du Cinéma, young Godard decides making films is the best film criticism. He gets Beauregard to fund a low-budget feature, creating a treatment with Truffaut about a gangster couple. I mean, yes. That's not really how it was written, but that's okay. I unfortunately know more about how Breathless was made than the movie itself. But it doesn't really matter. So yeah, this is exactly what it says it is. It's the beginning of the movie is Godard. He's at, I can't remember which premiere, and he's like, I'm gonna go to Cannes, and he talks to Beauregard, and he's like, I'm gonna make my movie. And everyone's like, well, you know, Godard is the best critic at Cahiers du Cinéma, or so he says, ha ha ha, you know, all the kind of jokes that you get about that. And so he makes he casts I don't remember why he casts does he cast Gene Seberg because like she was just like a name or I don't really remember.
Yeah, because she's on the cover of a magazine and
right.
And she's a name. Yeah.
And they cast Jean-Paul Belmondo because he's a great boxer, and he was also kind of on the verge of becoming a movie star. He's kind of a big deal in France already, and Breathless made him like an international star. I remember that much. And so Chabrol's in this, and Truffaut, and Suzanne Schiffman, and all the players. And this movie, I have read a little bit about. I've read some other criticism of this, and for some reason, you know, the title card. I mean, they're kind of like title cards, but you know how you get like the you know, just like the one shot first person perspective of the characters with their full names. It seems to have really gone up a lot of critics' asses for some reason. It doesn't bother me. It doesn't. I don't think it's necessary, but you know, I think this is one of the. I think this is a problem that Linklater has. Is he kind of does these sandbox kind of movies about subjects that are big deal subjects, but the movies themselves are just like, I don't really. Watching someone wax philosophic. Okay, I'm going to say this. First of all, he does manage somehow, and I think this is the performance more than it's anything else. He does manage to make Godard go from seeming like a pretentious asshole motherfucker, which he was, to a human being by the end of the movie. I think still a pretentious asshole motherfucker, but you see him interact with so many of the people, and it just seems, even though he and Gene Seberg clearly hates him, they develop a shorthand, and he can like handle her teasing, and he doesn't, get angry about it like a lot of like small dicked men would. And Belmondo's just kind of like, I'm in a movie, like the whole time, which is fun.
They're very cute together, Gene Seberg and Belmondo.
Yeah. You know who my favorite character is in this, though? The cameraman, Raoul.
Oh, he's great.
I don't know what it is about Mathieu Penchant, but I just thought he was great.
Yeah, he's really great. I also really like the woman who plays the script supervisor.
Yes, she's very funny. She's got a lot of good lines.
Yes.
I mean, so this is one of those movies where I just feel like this is kind of like a sandbox piece. This is just, unless you go out of your way to watch every Richard Linklater movie, who's really going to see this? Who is this movie for? We said that about the Mark Maron documentary. It's kind of like,
yeah.
And it's just sort of like, unless you are enamored of Breathless, or unless you're a Zoe Deutsch fan, or unless you watch Linklater movie, like every Richard Linklater movie, like who is this for? Like no one's just going to like wander in and fucking see this. Are they? I mean, I don't know.
I don't know. I think you're onto something though, because I was thinking that too. I wasn't annoyed the way other people, I didn't know that other critics were so annoyed with the kind of title card, face card, like introducing everybody. But I will say, I get, like, it's okay. It's kind of cutesy, pretentious in a way, but at the same time, some of the people are like, you see them for like 30 seconds and then they're gone.
Right.
So it's kind of like, do we need them introduced? Maybe, I don't know. But also it feels like it's giving kind of French New Wave 101 class.
Yeah.
And especially with that coda, like where we, I say learn, but like if you know the filmmakers and the actors, you probably know what's happened to them after Breathless. So it feels weird. It feels sort of like it's towing this line between like a 101 film class, but then also like I've seen this described as like a love letter to filmmaking and to French New Wave, but I don't feel like it is a love letter at all. And yeah, so I feel kind of similarly like, who is this for? I'm not sure.
Yeah.
I'm really not sure.
And
I mean, I guess on the best case scenario, it makes somebody who hasn't seen Breathless or any Godard want to watch his films or watch Breathless.
I got to tell you, watching... Now, I've seen Breathless, and I'm not trying to just say, it's fine. I mean, I just don't remember... it was the 90s. I was drunk a lot. I just don't remember it very well. I remember thinking, oh, I can see why this is what it is. You know, like I appreciated it on that level, but watching it being made, this is just like a bunch of French people making a movie, and it seems to me like if you had like a pretentious douche making a movie, that this is what it would be like. Now, it just so happens that the actor playing Godard, Guillaume, I want to say Marbeck, has charisma, which goes a long way, because, I mean, if he didn't, you'd want to kill people. But and I wouldn't even say that I know him well. I don't even know if you'd call him new wave, really, because he's so much older than they are. Is the French filmmaker who made movies at that time that could be thrown into the new wave moniker, under the new wave moniker, is Jean-Pierre Melville. I've seen most of his movies. And I mean, I don't really think you can call it. Is he new wave? Would you call him new wave? I don't even know.
I don't know.
Samurai, if those of you listening at home, Army of Shadows, Samurai, Red Circle, Bob Le Flambeur, those are Melville movies. And he, of course, makes, because every film director from this fucking time shows up in this movie. Like Rossellini's in it, and Melville's in it, and Bresson, and obviously,
Jean-Cocteau
and exactly, and obviously like Chabrol and Truffaut and all those guys.
Yes.
And I do believe that they probably were on set because why not? They were all in Paris and they were all making movies at the same time, and some of them are already very famous. And Godard was a famous writer, as part of Cahiers de Cinema. So, I don't really have a lot to say about this. At the outset, it really irritated me, and I fell into its vibe, but I still don't think that this is necessarily a worthwhile project. Especially when you consider that, like, Richard Linklater, I don't know how true this is, but he is credited with kind of kickstarting the 90s independent filmmaking boom with Slacker, which is a hard watch if you haven't seen it, by the way. Slacker is one of those movies where you watch it and you go, oh, I can fucking make a movie, because it's not that good. Although it is sort of fascinating for what it is, which is like one tale. What would you call? Have you seen Slacker?
I have not.
Oh, okay. Well, it's like, you got one story that leads into another story, but it's not a bunch of vignette. I mean, it is a bunch of vignettes.
So it's not like an anthology, but it's like one.
It's not an anthology,
they're
but
all like tied together.
Right, exactly. Yeah. And
I gotcha.
And the acting is very hit or miss because it's almost entirely non-professional actors. And but then he made Dazed and Confused, which nobody seems to remember didn't make any money when it came out. It is another one of those movies that became popular on video, on DVD, etc. I don't even know what the first big hit was that he made. Probably School of Rock. No, it was the overnight movie with Julie Delpy and Ethan Hawke.
I was just about to say Before Sunrise.
Before Sunrise.
Which is one of my favorites and forever and irrevocably changed the way I view cinema.
It's a little long, but it's a good movie.
That is an incorrect statement.
Is a little long.
It is perfection. And it is beautiful and it is brilliant. And it showed me as a teenager that you can make a movie about just walking and talking, and you can do it beautifully. And I loved that.
Yeah, I'm not going to die on the hill of it's too long, but it's my favorite one from that trilogy is Before Sunset. Partly because it's 81 minutes.
I was like, I didn't say Before Sunrise was my favorite. I just said that was the first one I saw, and it irrevocably changed how I view cinema. That's it.
Yeah.
But yes, I love that trilogy to death. I love each and every one of them.
Is there a movie that like changed the way I do like movies? I don't know.
I have quite a few actually. But that one is a very vivid one because I was like, oh, it was one of the first independent films I had seen. And it was a game changer for me. It was kind of a magical moment. And it's a film I still love and love revisiting.
Yeah, it didn't do that for me, but
I'm sure another film did.
Well, you know what movie I always think of when I think of movies that it's not necessarily that it changed the way. I mean, maybe it when I first saw All the President's Men, which I know is big budget 70s movie, whatever.
There's no shame in that.
I know it's a truly classic movie. It's the first time I realized like, oh, you can have a movie that's full of tension and where you're worried someone's going to die like in the next 5 minutes, but nobody like ever even like raises a voice, pulls a gun, nothing.
Yeah.
It's just paranoia, I saw that when I was in high school, and I just remember being like, what the fuck is this movie? This is fucking great, So that's one of mine. I'm sure there are certainly others, Red, which you guys know how much I love.
Red is great.
Kozlovsky's Red. But it's interesting. I didn't know that about Before Sunrise for you.
Yeah. I love it. It's funny. I'm not a big Linklater fan aside from that besides the Before trilogy. I like Boyhood. I like what it's doing and what it's going for. And I think Ethan Hawke is incredible, as well
He's
as
so good in that.
oh my God, why did her name just zip right out of my
Patricia
head?
Arquette.
But thank you. Yeah, and I think she's incredible too. And I love there's so many filmmakers who are obsessed with time. Nolan is obsessed with time, since we talked about Christopher Nolan earlier. Richard Linklater is obsessed with time, and missing time and the passage of time. But no, the Before trilogy I think is something special that I really love from him. But this is a weird one. This because it's not bad.
No, it's not.
By any means. And again, I feel similarly to like Running Man, like it's by a director who knows what he wants to make and has a specific vision and clearly has a lot of affinity for filmmaking. But I somehow I don't feel that love poured into this film. And it feels, I don't know, there's something too paint by numbers, too on the nose with this. There's something about it that just rubbed me the wrong way.
Yeah.
And I'm like, it's not bad, but I'm bored to tears. And this shouldn't be boring. It should be interesting. And yeah, the thing I kept focusing on while watching Nouvelle Vague is how the hell did they cast somebody who looks so much like Belmondo, and how the hell did they cast somebody who looks so much like Francois Truffaut? I could not get over it.
It's like, really eerie.
Oh my God. It is
particularly
freaky.
I thought the guy who looks like the Truffaut.
Yes.
Because Belmondo, I feel like it's more of like an energy resemblance than it is like his face. But the guy who plays Truffaut looks like Francois Truffaut.
Yes. Yeah. It was uncanny. Like, I'm just like, where, like, I'm like, is this a long lost relative? Like, where, like, whereas who is this?
Guillaume Marbeck may or may not look like Jean-Luc Godard because he never takes his sunglasses off.
I know, which feels very appropriate. Yeah, but I'm just like, I don't know. I don't know about you, but I don't feel like I got any new insights. I don't feel like I learned anything new about art or filmmaking or anything really.
Yeah, one of the things I was hoping that they would get into is just like what kind of troubled life Jean Seberg had, because her life was so just all over the place.
Yeah,
and she and her first husband, I don't know for sure, but if it was like the other husbands, it was a pretty fucking crazy marriage.
Yeah.
So. And the way her life ended is just tremendously sad, especially when it may have been done. There's, people were charged after. Right. It's if you don't know what I'm talking about, just Google her and read about, the last decade of her life. And it's incredibly sad. And not that this isn't that kind of movie. That's the other thing. It's like, you say it's like we're just talking about Edgar Wright, and you just said it too. It's like he makes the movie he wants to make, and this is the movie that Richard Linklater wanted to make. He's one of those filmmakers who just does what he wants to do. He's reached that point somehow. Mm-hmm. Even when he was just like a dude who like was making Dazed and Confused, if you read that book, like the oral history of Dazed and Confused or whatever it's called, and so many of the technical people in it are like. And fucking Rich is just letting the actors like make up shit as they go along and whatever. And it's like, yeah, that's clearly what he wanted. That movie was about vibe, and he would shoot those scenes until he got the vibe he wanted, and then they would move on. It's pretty clear, Yeah.
That's kind of very, not even kind of, that's what he's showing here about our style, so clearly he feels a kindred spirit to Godard in that way.
Except he makes popcorn movies mostly, which Godard did not. The few Godard movies I've seen, I hesitate to say this on microphone, are unwatchable. but Godard was just like I've seen some movies where I'm like, oh yeah, sure. And then I've seen other movies that I'm like, I'm going to die. But you also know that Richard Linklater knows how to make like a strong commercial product look no further than School of Rock,
Very true.
That is a movie that is directed to within an inch of its life, but it feels spontaneous and lively and light on its feet,
Yeah.
And so he knows how to fucking direct a screenplay, I guess is what I'm trying to say.
This is a sidebar, but since you mentioned School of Rock, one of my favorite things about that movie is something I read recently that Jack Black said that is his favorite project he's ever done. And he loves that it brings people so much joy. And I'm like, what a delight Jack Black is. Like, what a just delightful human he is.
Yeah. And
so nice.
And Mike White says that he's like, I wanted to write a movie for Jack Black, and I wanted to write something that didn't have any of the stuff I was associated with, which was, like eeriness. So I just wanted to write a comedy for Jack Black, and he did it. It's School of Rock is I love School of Rock.
It's such a great movie. Yeah, it is. It's really fun and sweet.
And there's this interview I saw with Jack Black when it's like, so yeah, we're doing a scene, and I decide, I'm gonna do this scene, and Dewey's gonna have cheese coming out of his nose. So he goes to craft service and gets some cheese coming out of his nose, and Rich comes over to me and says, "Hey, really think Dewey would do this with cheese coming out of his nose?" Yes, I think he would. Okay, so we do the take, and then we do another take, and we do 4 takes with me with cheese coming out of my nose. He's like, "All right, why don't we do one without the cheese coming out your nose?" And guess which one's in the movie? It's fun.
Mm-hmm.
Anyway, yes,
yeah. No, I was just going to say something that I wanted to say when you were talking about, but then we started talking about other things, fun things like Jack Black. When you were talking about Jean Seberg and her really tragic life, and you're right, this isn't that movie. It does kind of hint at the troubles in her marriage. But I am surprised that we don't get any kind of hints at her her kind of other struggles, but maybe because maybe that was more to come later. I don't know. But
yeah, I mean, I don't know. I just don't know enough about her to, I just know the basic bio bits.
Yeah. Jean-Paul
Belmondo liked women. I was looking at his what do you call it, Wikipedia page.
Okay.
And the guy was married, but had twice, but had so many partners that overlapped with those wives. Hey, he's a Frenchman. What can you say? Okay. Other thing I'm looking at Richard Linklater's like filmography here, and there are movies in here that I forgot he did, like Fast Food Nation. I forgot that was him. Ashley Johnson's in that. And like, I don't think I've seen it, but I don't think I ever knew that Last Flag Flying was Richard Linklater.
Nope, I did not.
I forgot that Hitman, the Glenn Powell movie, the movie that Glenn Powell wrote, is a Richard Linklater movie.
Yep, I remember that.
So yeah,
which also has some kind of overlap in Running Man because he's got disguises in it and he's doing other accents anyway.
Yeah.
So another connection. So the two movies are kind of connected.
I mean,
in a weird way.
Yeah, and Richard Linklater is also interesting. He doesn't make as many movies as Steven Soderbergh, but it feels like he's always got things going. Like Blue Moon came out this year too, right? Maybe it's not out yet. I don't even know.
No, it came out. It came out last month.
So 2 movies coming out a month apart. I mean, that's crazy.
Yep.
The only filmmaker I can think of who's like that is Soderbergh. So even though he does more,
Soderbergh is like that.
Anyway, do you have anything you want to say more about Nouvelle Vague?
No, but I do have a question. What would you have liked to have seen in this? Like, what do you think would have made this better?
This is going to sound really glib, but I just wanted it to be less cute.
I get that because I feel like it's cutesy too.
Yeah.
But not in I don't know.
It's almost like you're watching people play house. Do you know what I mean?
Yes. Yeah. Yes. Yes.
I don't want to watch people play house. I'll play house. I don't want to watch you play house.
No, but there is like a kind of cutesiness to it where it's like even when there's friction, like even when Jean Seberg is mad at Godard for not having a script, or writing on the fly or only filming for 2 hours a day or deciding he doesn't want to film at all because he'd rather play pinball. Which, sidebar, I do have to say there is something kind of refreshing in his kind of spontaneity to have fun mixed in with his creative process, because there's a quote I read a long time ago about how in order to write well, you need to have a lot of free time, that you can just kind of like let ideas come to you.
I think that's true.
And to, let them marinate and all of that. And so I kind of appreciate that we get to see that in a creative process with a creative person. But anyway, even when there's friction, I don't feel like it's really going to go anywhere. Like
Exactly.
it feels kind of like sitcom-y in that way. Like it's just like, it's all going to resolve. It's all going to be okay. And I don't know. There's something to be said for feel good films, but this isn't quite that either. I don't know. This film, I'm like, who is this for? What's going, like, I don't know. I don't feel there are stakes. And again, that might sound weird because it's like, well, they're just making a movie, but I don't know. It just, it is a little too cutesy. I agree with you.
Yeah. I don't, yeah.
But that's the question I'm wrestling with, is what would have made this better? Because it's not bad.
Right.
But I think this is, and I hate to say this because I think there's some good photography here. I think it's got a great period feel. I think there are some good performances here, really solid. But I find this very forgettable.
Yeah.
Like, I don't think I'm going to remember this 3 months from now.
No. I mean, you might remember it because it's black and white and it's about Breathless, but otherwise.
Right. But not in and of itself like,
Right.
There's this memorable moment.
Agreed.
But it's not bad.
Yeah, it's not bad. It's not. This is not like a negative review per se. This is the definition of a your mileage may vary review.
Yeah, but I feel so negative talking about it. But I'm like, it's because it's not bad. But I'm just like, eh.
Yeah.
I just don't think it leaves a lasting impression. Again, unless you've never seen Breathless and you don't know anything about the French New Wave, then maybe it'll be revelatory for you.
Maybe. Probably not.
Yeah, probably not. I mean, like, I think it's cute, and I know this is actually how it was filmed, but I think it's cute, that we get to see the scene where the DP goes into the mail, with the packages, and I think it's cute that we get to see Godard push around the the camera guy in the wheelchair just to get because he didn't want to lay down the dolly tracks, so.
You could make a really good dolly grip. Yep.
I know, that was cute.
That was funny.
That was a cute line.
Alrighty. Well, then it sounds like we're talked out on what's this movie called? Nouvelle Vague?
Nouvelle Vague.
Alrighty. All right. Well, let's fucking find my podcast outro notes. Okay. Ladies and gentlemen, and everyone, that was Spoiler Piece Theater by Megan and me. Let's recap very briefly. Brief with an F, Lee. The Running Man. Would you recommend?
No.
No, that is a no. Running Man's out now.
Except Coleman Domingo's amazing. So maybe watch it for him.
Maybe watch it for the 7 minutes he's in it, or however long it is. Nouvelle Vague. I mean, I can't say don't see it. I just can't. I can't say see it.
I'll say don't see it. I'll say watch Breathless instead.
Yeah, your mileage may vary. Why don't you watch both of them?
You know what else you should watch? Because you only see her for a hot second.
Oh, what?
Well, you should see Before Sunrise, but no, that's not what I was going to say. I'm always going to promote women filmmakers. She's only in it for a hot second. Agnes Varda. Watch some Agnes Varda.
Yes.
Watch Cleo from 5 to 7. It's an incredible film.
I would say watch Vagabond. That would be my Vanya movie. Okay.
Watch them both.
Watch them both. Want to thank our editor, Otto Clamor. Otto, thank you for doing the heavy editing lifting week in and week out.
Thanks, Otto.
We want to thank our sponsor piece patron, Heather Sachs. Thank you so much, Heather, for being our sponsor piece patron.
Thanks, Heather.
You can find Spoiler Piece Theater anywhere you get podcasts. I was going to say anywhere you get contacts. I don't know why. It just flew into my mind for a moment.
Do you need to buy contacts?
I don't wear them anymore because my eyes are like, fuck you anytime I put them in. Our website is spoilerpiece.com. If you want to find us on social media, we're Spoiler Piece Theater on Facebook. We're at Spoiler Piece on Twitter, Instagram, Letterboxd, and Blue Sky, and Threads. If you would like to email us, please do. Our email address is spoilerpiece@gmail.com. We no longer have a phone number, but if you want to yell loudly through a tin can and throw me a string and a tin can on the other line, then that might do it. This is one of those things, we tell you to like get in touch with us each week. I would like to know, you folks who do know your French New Wave and have seen this, whether you think this is a worthwhile piece of filmmaking or not. I'm speaking,
I want to know that too.
Speaking, of course, of The Running Man, not Nouvelle. And
that classic piece of French New Wave cinema, The Running Man.
If you like the show, please rate and review us by going to ratethispodcast.com/spoilerpiece, or you can rate us directly on Spotify, fuck them, and Apple Podcasts.
Yeah.
If you really, really like the show, please consider joining our Patreon. Megan and I had a very enjoyable conversation about Mira Nair's Mississippi Masala, starring Denzel Washington, and I've forgotten everybody else who's in it.
Sarita Choudhury.
Thank you, Sarita Choudhury. Good Lord. Yeah, and that is the show this week, everybody. My name is Dave Riedel. I write about movies. I'm a member of the Boston Online Film Critics Association. If you want to find me on the social medias, I'm everywhere on social media as Dave Sees Movies, except Twitter, where I am not at all. And on Blue Sky, I'm David M. Riedel, ? I should really look at that before I tell you. Megan, where can everybody find you?
You can find me. I'm at In Session Film, where I podcast and write. I'm a co-host of the Slashers podcast. I'm a member of the Boston Online Film Critics Association and a member of Gallica. You can follow me on Blue Sky and Twitter at OpinionS World, or on Instagram and Letterboxd at The OpinionS.
Thank you for being here, everybody. See you next week. Bye.
Thanks. Bye.